Yes.
When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach. So she ran away in her sleep and dreamed of paradise, paradise, paradise.
Do you know what the DREAM Act is?
I don't.
No.
Yep, a little bit, not much.
No.
No, I do not.
No.
Yes.
I know that immigrant students are given in-state tuition, even though they're not citizens of the United States.
It's a bill that was proposed to the Senate about allowing illegal immigrants to go to school in the U.S., like university or college after high school, and be given residency to the U.S.
They'll be crystallized, and you've got the faith that I could bring paradise. I'll forgive and forget before I'm paralyzed. Do I have to keep up the pace to keep you satisfied? Things have gotten closer to the sun, and I've done things in small doses. So don't think that I'm pushing you away when you're the one.
Do you think there's educational inequality in America?
I think that because people are raised in different backgrounds with different privileges, I think that some people definitely do have better opportunities than others in terms of education. I know, just for example, where I'm from Plainsboro, New Jersey, so that's in between basically Princeton and Trenton. And just in that small, like 10-mile radius, there is such a discrepancy between the Trenton kids who I've actually tutored some of them at like 7th, 8th grade. They're still struggling to read second grade level books, as opposed to Princeton, which is really wealthy town, and everyone has such great opportunities with tutors and all that extra help. So yes, I do think that there is.
Yes. In certain areas, in poverty-stricken areas, and which are coincidentally mostly Black and mostly minority groups, there's less resources for people, which causes less educational opportunities.
I do think that there's educational inequality. I think people don't have enough access to education, especially people who are in less fortunate neighborhoods or less fortunate economic standards. Like, I know we've talked about it in some of my civics courses, the fact that people who don't have money tend not to go to school because they either have to support their family or they have to stay home and support themselves. And a lot of the time that means that they can't go to school, or they don't have means for transportation to school or something along those lines. So there's a lot of inequality, and I know that we have No Child Left Behind for education, but a lot of the times that holds back the educational system.
Do you think there are any solutions to educational inequality in America?
I think that affirmative action is a good start, but it's definitely not like a full solution. Um, I just feel like the public school system in general is just not not as good as like private schools. So I don't know. If you can't afford to go to private school, you're basically out of luck. So I don't know how we change that, but it should be. There needs to be a way.
It's definitely tough because usually, I mean, the higher paying school districts attract the better teachers. So it is hard because, one, I'm not sure where you get the money from to fund these schools, because I know that in 2010 my school district, which where I live does pretty well, we got 70% of our budget cut, whereas Trenton and other school districts that are struggling didn't take as much of a hit. But stuff like that still doesn't help enough, because the other half of it is the environment in which the kids are raised, and it's really hard to change values in people. So I'm not really sure how you would go about that.
Affirmative action is a really good policy that's already in place, and it allows minorities to gain more opportunities in higher education.
Government funding, awareness in higher areas, allowing more taxation on higher classes that would benefit poorer classes who can't afford proper schooling for their children and can't afford taxes and are on welfare and other things that don't provide funding to schools.
We have to be able to distribute resources equally. So like computers have to be distributed equally.
Well, first of all, I think that college should be free so that everybody has the same opportunity to go and have a higher education, because a lot of people can't afford higher education. I also think that private school and public school educations should be more equalized, I guess. And the fact that I think a lot of private schools, because they do have funding, they do have a lot of, I guess, alumni who donate and things like that, they have more funding to have better teachers, better books, better supplies, whereas public schools, a lot of the teachers I now know have to pay for their own supplies, which can really hinder them, because if they can't get certain books, they can't teach people teach their students certain things, and they have to leave parts out of the curriculum. So I think things like that, better funding for schools, that would probably really help.